that you had, any events going on, those are all canceled for tonight. Also, if you're wanting to go to the library to study, that's not a possibility. They closed after 6 p.m. And also, Hawthorne, I hear, is closing at 11, so if anyone want to get some food. But the more importantly, tomorrow, 6 in the morning, they'll make the call whether they're going to cancel classes for the whole day. I mean, I don't want to speculate what the university will do because they're kind of sticklers.
Yeah,
so,
well, it's just beyond. Yeah.
But it's not the best situation, so everyone should be aware in the morning. Check out the ISU homepage. They'll have all the information you need on there, updating on whether classes will be canceled tomorrow. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, if you have a relative or a brother or sister or whatever who are in high school, elementary school, middle school, I mean, you can most likely count on a delay or possibly no school tomorrow. I know my family back home does not have school tomorrow already. They've already called that. And the worry, of course, is the roads drifting over. That's one big thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even with the snow that we had yesterday on Sunday night into Monday, the roads were awful yesterday during Monday, then today even. Yeah. They were still bad. So roads are going to be pretty bad for quite a while. So even into Wednesday evening, when the winds start to even die down, maybe under blizzard conditions, finally, the road conditions will still be really poor out there.
Yeah, no matter what, and that visibility won't be up anytime soon either for a while, at least for through tomorrow.
True.
Why don't we go ahead and send it to another video that we have, if you could go ahead and roll that now. And welcome back. I'm being joined by Ryan Ellis. Ryan, blizzard warning for the entire state right now.
It's spectacular, really.
Unbelievable.
I've heard many meteorologists and professors say they've never seen this before. You know, usually it's just a small section of the state. Not only is all of Iowa, but a good portion of Wisconsin and Nebraska and parts of even Kansas are under blizzard warning. So that's nothing short of amazing. This is, like I've been saying, this looks like to be a historic storm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it seems like we're the bulls out here in Iowa. I mean, you got the surrounding states, Nebraska, you know, and then into Wisconsin as well. But, I mean, right here in Iowa, looks like we're going to take the brunt of it.
And I'm sure many of you are kind of curious, you know, what's the difference between that watch and warning? What does a blizzard warning really mean? Well, let's take a look at that. Now, a watch, which we were under with a blizzard watch for a while, that just means conditions are favorable and there's a pretty good chance of the event occurring. Usually the Weather Service issues this a few days ahead in advance because they think it's going to happen. Well, then when the warning comes, then they know it's going to happen. It's imminent, and then it's time to actually start taking necessary precautions. The surprising thing with the Weather Service is that they issued this warning very early, and usually, usually it's about half a day, but man, they issued it at least a day ahead of what, you know, when this actually started ramping up.
I mean, I personally never seen that either, and I mean, we've been under at least a watch for like the past couple of days.
We start with the winter weather advisory. Which, hey, I think we're going to explain that here. Well, maybe not the advisory. The advisory is kind of like the baby child of the warning. But here, we'll talk about, you know, I'll let you talk about these.
Oh, you want to talk? Okay, well, right now we are under the blizzard warning, which I know Rachel discussed earlier. That is the criteria for that: falling or blowing snow, which reduces visibility to less than a quarter of a mile for at least 3 hours. That is what we're seeing right now. That's what we're going to be continuing to see because we are under that until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Now, as you see, there's other warnings as well that can be involved in winter storms. Heavy snow warning, for instance, which is 6 inches or more expected in 12-hour period. Winter storm warning, which we're actually under right now, as well as the blizzard warning, which conditions meet the criteria for 2 separate warnings. You also have the high wind warning, which, the winds are going to be coming into effect tonight into tomorrow as well. Sustained winds with speeds of 40 miles an hour or greater, lasting an hour or longer. And then that wind chill warning, which is a side note, it is going to get very cold. Wind chills, 20 below they're forecasting for tomorrow night?
The amazing thing is when you look at all that, I think this storm could really hit all those categories. We could hit every single one. The heavy snow warning, we could get I think we've already gotten 6 inches in less than, 3 hours.
Oh, we noticed that out there earlier today even. I mean,
right, those videos,
outside.
we already measured at least 8 inches of snowfall, and it's only been going for about 4 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to check in with you later. We're going to go to the wall right now with your road conditions.
All right, thank you, Tyler. We're going to take a look at roads out there right now, and snow is coming down all across the state of Iowa, so roads not good. If you do not have to travel, do not travel out there all across the state. We have iced roads, especially off to the east and southeast Iowa. That's the region where we're seeing actually still some rain changing over snow, and in that process, we're seeing a little bit of ice here, especially along Highway 30 as you head in towards Marshalltown and further east, and then also here further to the south. And looking at the southern part of the state, you can see closed roads for most of southwest Iowa. They've been seeing the heaviest area of snow in the southwest portion of the state, so that's why those roads definitely closed out there. Most are snow covered into the northeast. They're seeing lighter amounts of snow than what we're seeing, but still enough to cover those roadways and make things a hassle getting around. Still, in that blizzard warning that is in effect, it'll be in effect here at 9 p.m. and then after we'll go to about sometime throughout the day tomorrow, and looks like it'll probably end later on in your day on Wednesday. So expect still snowfall coming down, blowing and drifting snow, as well as very high winds. So all the whole state is covered in a blizzard warning currently, as well as extending up into Minnesota, parts of eastern Nebraska, and back into Illinois. This system very big, very strong as well, so we're seeing a lot of severe weather all over the Midwest. Now this graphic right here, it's been a while since we have seen more than 10 inches plus of snow here in the metro of Ames. 12 inches back in March of 1998. We saw, and then February, in 3 years in a row actually, we saw 10 plus. So it's been a long time. It's 2009, so we haven't seen that in quite a while. And look at that. Back in 1900, I don't know if you remember that, but 18 inches of snow fell there. So very large snow amounts, and we could see amounts, I don't know about 18 inches, but we could be in store for maybe getting close to that here in Ames. So crazy stuff right now. So we're going to take a look at the current conditions right now. 25 degrees right now. We might be in a little bit of a lull in the snow, but I'm sure we're still seeing the snow out there right now. North-northeast winds, 17 miles per hour, but they are just going to keep increasing as we head through your evening hours. So quite the situation out there right now. Temperatures across the state, 28 in Ankeny, colder off to the north. This system, we've mentioned the snow, we've mentioned the wind, but it is going to drag down some of the coldest air we've seen. When we're going to see lows here in the next several days below zero, so it's going to get chilly behind this. So 23 in Carroll, 21 over in Fort Dodge. As we look across the state, 27 in Des Moines, 21 over in Storm Lake, 19 in Sioux City, and it's just going to get colder as this low pressure wraps in this cold air right behind it. Wind gusts right now, 30 being reported in Des Moines, 40 in Storm Lake. So if that visibility is below a quarter of a mile, they're experiencing blizzard-type conditions over there. So some areas of the state could be seeing that already at this hour as this low pressure really starts to wrap up. Currently across the Midwest, 18 up in Minneapolis, 33 in Kansas City, and there's the cold air I promised you, all the way up in the Dakotas and Montana being funneled down as this low pressure spins in northern Missouri. -1 currently the temperature in Denver right now, so very cold air. The coldest we've seen, definitely Arctic. Here's the expanse of snow you can see all across the state of Iowa, even extending up into Minnesota and parts of South Dakota and Nebraska. We're in a bit of a lull here, like I was saying, so we're only really seeing some light snow in our area with some heavier snow to the north and east. But look at this. This is round 2 that's going to occur overnight tonight and also through your early morning hours tomorrow. But after this kind of pulls through, we'll see more of this lighter stuff on the back edge during your day tomorrow before it all pulls away by tomorrow evening and then tomorrow night. Let's zoom in actually and let's go into Iowa and see for the Des Moines radar. There you can see these were those heavy snows that we see, and some of these could have been an inch per hour as far as snowfall amounts. And You can see just pulling out of the Ames area, starting to clear out of Huxley as well. Des Moines, right now, pretty dry down there as far as snowfall goes, but you can start to see things starting to fill back in here near Omaha and down to Maryville in Missouri, and all this going to be moving its way into our area here in the next several hours, and we're going to get right back into that heavy snowfall. So with that, I'm going to take it back to the desk with Tyler.
Well, thank you very much, Matt. Actually, I just got past a very interesting news piece from one Justin Gertz. He's actually Twittering right now. Justin sent in that Waterloo is actually seeing 6 inches of snow in just the last 2 hours, which is...
That's insane.
I don't know what you said. That's just crazy to think about that. And they've actually seen a total of 9 inches right now, but just to think that they got 6 inches in 2 hours, that's... Wow.
Right. And
pretty unbelievable.
A lot of the snow this is actually kind of a special situation where some of these clouds are actually kind of thunder clouds where the snow falls really quickly. Now, you might have heard some rumbles of thunder out there. I actually haven't heard any yet, but it's called convective snow, and basically it comes down really fast. And we saw some of that earlier in southern Iowa, so it doesn't surprise me that other areas are seeing such heavy snowfall right now. And we certainly experienced that here in Ames the last few hours.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know my dear friend Katie in Iowa City really wants to see thunder snow, so hopefully that pans out over in Iowa City. But another thing that's actually kind of interesting to take a look at is that with all this heavy snow and especially with the winds coming, is the power issues, outages.
Right.
I mean, there has been reported 300 people without power right now in Waterloo. And I mean, you got to think those numbers are going to continue.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just no question.
And there's definitely, you got to be prepared for this. You make sure you have your blankets, make sure, if you don't have any kind of generator, have flashlights, even if you have to resort to candles, have those ready, because it could happen anywhere across the state of Iowa.
No one's safe.
You're not going to be ready for it. It's just going to happen, and just be prepared.
That's the only way you can go about it. And right now, let's pull up some snowfall totals, little updates. Like we talked about, Ames, 7 to 9 inches right now are currently out there, continuing to fall, of course. Des Moines still seeing 8 to 11 inches. And also we have some newer numbers that have come in. Mason City's only seen about 3 to 4 inches, but I mean, even with that small amount of snow, that doesn't mean that they're going to be exempt from the blizzard conditions. Obviously, the entire state's under a blizzard warning, and only a little bit of snow is all it takes, as a matter of fact, with some continuing to fall snow, to create those blizzard conditions. It doesn't matter if you have as double that and not. Omaha has about 8 inches of snow, so they're also seeing the brunt of that. That's kind of where the system is right now. Also, Cedar Rapids has 4 to 5 inches of snow. So, I mean, people are still feeling the brunt of this. Here in Ames and down into Des Moines, we're currently seeing the worst of it. And obviously, this is just going to continue. Like we said, I mean, we're only like halfway through this whole thing. Those winds have not come in yet. That's going to be the worst part of it. I mean, even though you've seen the snow, that doesn't mean that we're going to, you're not going to be out of the woods yet. And hey, thank you very much. There's Matt Hoffman gracing us with her presence. Liz, we're back. How are you doing?
Good. Wishing I could hear a few rumbles of thunder myself, but...
Oh, yeah. Now you too are a big fan of thunder snow.
Yes.
And, it would be nice to have something go on. Let's be honest. We might as well have,
I've only ever seen thunder snow once.
One time? Do you remember when that was?
Freshman year of college.
Oh, well, you know what?
Because I was sitting in my dorm, and we were watching Harry Potter, and I thought it was the movie because it was a thunder scene.
Oh, yeah. And then...
Except then, like, 10 minutes later, I heard more, and I was like, oh, wait, that's not the movie.
That was
pretty cool.
Well, hopefully we get something outside. I mean, I think you might as well top it up. I mean, we already have one of the most, as the Weather Service actually put it today, epic. They actually used the word epic, which is really funny. I mean, to be honest. They said epic. This is going to be an epic storm.
Well, you also know Ken Pedrazik, who's the one that issued that, is big into winter weather.
Well,
so usually if he's issuing something like that, it's something to take seriously.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and, winter weather's never something to joke around with. I mean, it's very, very serious as far as, people traveling, and they can lose power and heart. I mean, all that stuff is obviously an issue.
Yeah.
And why don't we go ahead and pull up the radar right now in Omaha. Look at Omaha. Omaha's getting shocked right now. I mean, this is going to be the continuation of what we're going to see in just a few hours. Because we are actually in a little bit of a lull right now.
Yeah. And I know my hometown is Columbus, which you can see on the map. And they had a snow day today. And my parents said there's like drifts to the top of my neighbor's garage.
Oh, unbelievable.
And because we live out in the country, and so it's even more crazy out there.
And that's a side note to talk about too quick, is that, out in the open areas, out in that open country, that is the most dangerous area for winter weather. I mean, with these blizzard conditions, I mean, it'll basically be zero throughout
Yeah.
this entire event. I mean,
And
that's,
I know this afternoon I looked at one of the METAR reports, and it
Oh,
was
yeah?
listed as only a fourth of a mile visibility.
unbelievable.
So we just have to wait for those winds to pick up,
Yeah.
and we've got blizzard conditions.
Oh,
so.
and they'll be sustained for quite